Welcome everyone back to another Dragon Ball Z Dokkan Battle video. My name is D-Free. Here today we will be taking a look at the upcoming LR Kale and Caulifla card. I'm going to be going ahead and give you guys some general team building tips for this unit. Hope you guys enjoy, of course. Hit that subscribe if you are new for more content. So, a couple of things I want to point out is if you watched my breakdown video earlier, there's a couple of things that Goresh clarified. So, for one, leader skill is only for super AGL types, not just general leader for AGL types. But regardless, join forces and then super AGL split. So the passive as well, there's another change here. Key +1 and chance to evade for every attack performed. So instead of taking a hit and getting bonus key, I believe is what it was. And then, oh no, I think it was attack received bonus dodge chance initially. So that was an incorrect translation. But other than that, everything else is fine. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump in. Now, I think that this LR is going to be really good. I already see a lot of people downplaying him. If you just look at 66%, they're not going to be that great. But you have a 66% attack and defense unit, guaranteed additional attack. They launch an additional super attack if an Universe Survival Saga or Pure Saiyan's enemy is present, which is admittedly not super common, but it's common enough. Other than that, dodge chance, bonus key. It's a great card, and it's incredibly splashable. Like, if you look at the categories this unit's in, Join Forces, Universe Survival Saga, Universe 6, Pure Saiyans, Peppy Gals, and if you're full power, So they have access to some really good teams they can be on, and they're really splashable on those teams. You just kind of put them there. And again, same thing for the Link set. Super Saiyan, Battlefield Divas, Warriors of Universe 6, Tournament of Power, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power. So Super Saiyan, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power are, again, really good general links. So a couple of things I want to get out of the way first. I don't have a general team build guide for a couple of units here. I'm not really going to specify, or a couple of different teams. I didn't specify full power because full power is a whole other thing. Because there are a lot of units in that list of characters, and you can kind of build it however you want to. Same thing applies to Pure Saiyans. I think Pure Saiyans is a very linear team. You can choose however you want to build it. You take your Vegeta leader, whichever one you choose, and then you go from there with this unit. If you want to include this unit, then you look at the LRSs for Goku and Vegetas and probably a couple of supports, and you're good to go. Like, there's not... It just comes down to what you have. But I did want to kind of key in on a couple of different things. So for this video, we're going to take a look at the Peppy Gals and the Joined Forces categories as well. Universe 6 and Universe Survival Saga. For one, Universe 6 is incredibly easy because there's like 10 unique units probably that are even worth considering. And then other than that, Universe Survival Saga, you just kind of go from there. But I can actually give you guys a very brief look at USS. It's really easy though. Let's go ahead and go over that one before we proceed. So Universe Survival Saga, you have your leader. You go with Hit or Jiren, but I'd go with Hit because if you're using the LR, they get the bonus attack because they are in Universe 6, so you would go with that. And then you bring your Jiren, and then you bring both LRs, this one and the other one, and then you would, from there, probably run a few supports, and it's very linear teams. Like, you can obviously dip into UI, you can go to SSBE, there are a lot of different options. Nominal as well, I would actually consider him. Different things like that, but I want to make this as quick as possible. So from there, we're actually going to go over to the Peppy Gals category. Now, this team was actually one that didn't feature a lot of Fierce Battle, in my opinion. Like, it was just, I was looking at it and I was like, not even in my opinion. In fact, there's not a lot of options here. So when it comes to the LR, they really want to have access to that. So they do actually kind of, right now anyway, suffer from not having access to that too much. I don't want to run anything super suboptimal either to be able to make use of that, right? So regardless, so they do have everything else they need. So it's very general, we're going to come back to that, but very general idea for what a team would look like for this is you run with the Brienne lead, whichever one you prefer. Ideally, Int Brienne de Chateau, she is a 100% leader, so you would want that 3-key 100%. When she awakens, it'll be obviously better than that. And for the ideal Link buddy, it's up to you. You have Kefla or you have Caulifla. Int Kale is a solid option as well, but I don't know. I wouldn't really consider her. She has, again, enough of the relevant links. She's actually a really good buddy, to be honest. But I want to have more access to another hard-hitting unit on a team like this. So personally, I would go with Kefla. And again, Kefla has enough of the same relevant links. Super Saiyan, we have Battlefield Diva, we have Warrior of Universe 6, Tournament of Power. Those are all good links, especially for key links. Those are very powerful, potent key links that you're getting here, too. You're getting a ton of key. So Kefla also, by the way, is self-sufficient. So she's able to kind of make orbs for herself or for the LR, whatever you prefer. And I think that would be the right choice. KALIFLA is the next best option. She does have access to a dodge chance as well, bonus defense, attack gain, and those exact same links that are viable. So other than the LR, obviously, the Brienne, your choice of hard hitter, you could go both. You could go both, but I wouldn't go both. So Kefla, the LR, the Brienne, and then from there, I'm looking at Pandel, I'm looking at Bulla, and I'm looking at probably Chi-Chi, because Chi-Chi's got that 100% up, and then 3 key and 120 to Peppy Gals, and then you're good to go. So 120 defense support passive is crazy high. That's crazy high, man. So that's what I'm going with. Now for what you really came for. Let's look at Join Forces. So they are now, the upcoming LR is now the best card for this category. By the way, actually, you know, now that I think about it, honorable mention, these cards are here. They are in Peppy Gals. So really, Peppy Gals I would still go with Kefla as their main rotation unit. And these units are different. They're not support units. They're actually more viable offensive and defensive units. And you can also do this thing where with Peppy Gals, you can basically run a full Universe 6 / Tournament of Power setup. So that's another thing you can do. You can go with Brienne, both of these units. You can go with Kefla, you can go with the LR, and then from there you can run the Int free-to-play Kale. I believe that would be the last spot, and then Bulla if there is any more room. So honorable mention for these guys. They're actually really, really good. Feel free to pause if you want to see what they do. So anyways, moving on. Like I said, we are here for Join Forces. They are now the best leader for this team. Now, if you understand my thought process when it comes to building teams, right? There are generally multiple ways you can build teams in this game, and all of them would be, I wouldn't say anyone is incorrect, right? You can go for the standard attack per turn, looking for the most optimal, or however the terminology is pronounced, APT-centric team, right? Where you're trying to force out the most offense. A lot of times that winds up using units that feature like, you know, like Physical Kid Buu or whatever the case is, just to really, really force offense, right? That doesn't necessarily always lend its hand to cohesion and synergy. There's another way you can build teams. Defense focus. You can build your teams like if you're doing a showcase like I do with YouTube videos where I have a unit specifically that is able to generate most of their links and then also get a support as well, because I like that type of setup in a video. It's very realistic, I would say. And then we also can go even further and go double support, which also kind of bleeds into optimal. And then other than that, you have, again, the synergistic route. So when we look at the team I chose, this one is funny, right? And this is just a proxy. It's just a proxy for the LR, of course. But these 5 down here, this one's funny, but hear me out. Let me explain each individual choice. So Join Forces is a really good category, and I think that this category has access to some really, really solid options. And I think this category is going to continue to get a lot better in the future. And by no means am I saying that my video, or is there anything like that, my team is the best individual one, because I mean, I'm like, look at this, look at this. This is a great unit, obviously, right? You have Goku Black there, you have Goten and Trunks, you have Gogeta and Vegito, you have a ton of units, you have the Trio LR, you know. So let me go ahead and just jump in. So the ideal Link buddy that I chose was Super Saiyan Goku and Vegeta. I actually opted for the Vegito variant because of the fact that this one has Saiyan lineage, which with my setup is a little bit more viable than Golden Warrior, which is what the other one has. So keep that in mind when it comes down to that. It doesn't really, really matter. Really, they're only here to trigger Super Saiyan, Prepare for Battle, Fierce Battle, and Legendary Power, which is more than half of their own link set for one, so they're going to be really good with that. And also more than half of the KALE and CAULIFLA link set as well. So sneaky, really good option to have on the Joined Forces team. Now, of course, the team will change in the future when they get a Dokkan Fest unit, eventually, maybe. So keep that in mind. But yeah, I did choose this, and also this unit is self-sufficient, so they can kind of function regardless. And also, if they do happen to transform, Vegito is a really good option as well. But again, there's no right or wrong between Gogeta and Vegito. I didn't opt to have both on the same team because I didn't want to have them on opposing rotations. But what you can also do, just for the record, and I'm going to bring this up in a little bit when I talk about Bota Magetta, is you can have Gogeta and Vegito on opposing rotations, each linked with LR, KALE, and CAULIFLA, and then just run a streamlined role of support. So you do with those two on each rotation, then you run with somebody like Tora, or like the other units we're going to talk about, Paragus and Broly, whoever else, maybe Great Saiyaman LR, stuff like that. So again, there are multiple ways you can do this, but this is what I chose. Ideal Link Buddy, very good unit. We come over here. The one unit that I left out in my soliloquy just now, where I said you can go double LR on each rotation, is this one. Now, This one is a phenomenal unit. There are a couple of shticks that it has, though. It needs access to the enemy to have attack down status to really, really excel. Now, the whole reason why we're running Botamagetta is because Botamagetta is able to proc the attack down status. Let me actually go ahead and, before we come back to this card, explain Botamagetta. Because, for one, it literally has to be the STR-SR Botamagetta, or SSR, I guess, but the Awakening for SR Magetta. It has to be this one. Why? Because the super attack on this one lowers attack. The other ones do not, okay? The passives, the super attack, all that stuff's different per card. Also on top of that, Rival Duo, Tournament of Power, Warrior Universe 6 is solid as well, and then Fierce Battle. Those are all good links on this team. By the way, an SSR with Fierce Battle. Very uncommon. Not very many. So, very nice to have that. And again, you can really see the makeup. Rival Duo, Tournament of Power, and Fierce Battle. Those are all links that the LR has. And the attack down status. And the fact that that card itself has a solid passive as well makes it to where low-key they're one of the, I would say, at least mid-tier options to link with this card. So, one thing I was considering when it came to this card is the fact that since it's neither Goku nor Frieza really dominant, they're not having access to either Frieza links, which I wouldn't want anyway, but mainly the Saiyan links. There's no Super Saiyan, partly because he's not Super Saiyan, but you get my point. I mean, he is, but he's not because it's not Super Saiyan Goku. Regardless, so they don't have access to Super Saiyan. They don't have access to prepare for battle, for one. So little things like that actually really hamper this card. And when I was looking at experienced fighters in Rival Duo, one thing that rung true was that there weren't many cards that actually had the Duo link. Now, you do have Gogeta and Vegito here, but the issue with them is, again, even though they're self-sufficient, this LR isn't, and this LR doesn't link for Ki with them, basically. So they have Overnight Flash and Shocking Speed. Those are links that these guys, I believe, pick up post-transformation, but I'm not going to wait 6 turns to make this LR Ki viable, right? And also, when you look at these main offensive links, and remember the fact that you still want to be able to proc the attack down status, you look over here, well, if it's not a Joined Forces unit, it has to be a Super HL unit. What other unit would you consider, right? What other unit would you consider? Tapion is one that actually is really good. He even lowers attack. But the issue with Tapion is he's worthless until he's below 50%, and then when he actually dips below 50, he turns into an extreme AGL, so he's not getting any natural supers for one. It's going to be hard anyway. It's going to be extra hard when he starts off with no Ki. And then secondly, another thing that's wrong with him is even though he shares experienced fighters, he has Rival Duo, he has Fierce Battle. These are all the offensive links, actually. He doesn't have any Ki links, so that's even worse. So little things like that are issues that this LR kind of brings to light. But if you are able to maximize this LR, you have one of the in contention to be one of the best cards in the game, if not the individual best card in the game. So I really wanted to make sure we had this unit, and we have plenty of, you know, cycling attack down. So regardless, you guys know what this card does. One of the best cards in the game, obviously deserves a spot here. Paragus and Broly, they, this is such a busted card. For one, Pure Saiyans and Joined Forces, 2 Ki, 40% busted. Attack down. So one thing I considered with my support units was having a stream of attack down. So every other rotation, or every other turn, basically, in that last spot, there should be a unit that can support and also apply attack down. So only thing that means is that you, as the player, have to guarantee you offer the super attack to your last spot unit, and that'll sustain through the next round, assuming that the support unit, I guess, doesn't beat it. That'll sustain through the next round to where you can actually utilize that with the Goku and Frieza cards. You don't necessarily need Goku and Frieza to have access to a unit like Android 6 or 17 or like Tech TN, who can automatically go in that first spot and then apply the down status. You can actually have it from a turn prior, and it works that way as well. Also, keep in mind that if you're running Universe 6, which is an entirely different thing, you have Tech Hit who can apply that as well, and then you can actually use both of these LRs in that team too. So really, you don't have some of the same problems. But busted passive, worth consideration here. And then we dip into Super AGL for 3 Ki, 30%, and 6% HP recovery, because it does apply to himself, but he's only going to recover 6% on this team, as well as lowering attack. So phenomenal unit as well, just kind of like a baby version, I guess, on this team to the Paragus and Broly. Now, again, as I was saying, if you wanted to completely bounce this unit off the team, nobody would blame you, right? So what would you do from there? You would include this card, because why? 4 Ki passive. 4 Ki passive for LRs is insanely good. Insanely good passive. And if you wanted to make this a little bit more synergistic, what you could do as well, like I said, was go double Goku and Vegeta. So you go Vegito, Gogeta, and then on each rotation, linked with the Gogeta and Vegito, you have access to KALE and CAULIFLA as well as a Link Buddy. So just little things like that are different options that you have as far as this team's construction goes. And one of the things that makes this team really, I was like, why am I not seeing them? This is Majin Buu Saga. Yeah, one of the things that makes this team very versatile is their list of options that they have. So as far as that's concerned, though, that's basically it. Let me know what you guys think as well down below in the comments. And as far as different options go, support units are a dime a dozen. You can find a million of them. If you don't have access to these specific ones, you can look into the Pure Saiyans category, dig out some of them there. If they are AGL, they work just fine. Other than that, any generic AGL, Super AGL supporter works. Even a unit like AGL Mai. She offers 3 key to all allies, and then 20% attack and defense for AGL types, and Peppy Gals, which is the LR, by the way. Crit chance bonus. So it works, right? And if you want to run AGL KALIFLA on the team as well, you can do that as well. She's a really good link buddy for the LR. And then on top of that, you have access to Mai too, and then you're just in a good situation. So thank you all for tuning in. Hope you guys enjoyed today's video. I'll catch all of you in the next one.